to kind of update you on my build. I've kind of been slacking. People may have noticed a couple months where I didn't really do anything, but I've been hitting it pretty hard lately, and hopefully I keep that momentum going. But yeah, so I wanted to update everyone on kind of what I've done on the chassis to try to save weight. If you're not familiar with what I'm trying to do, kind of trying to build the lightest, full race prepped S2000 that's out there, and then I'm gonna hopefully compete in some time attack and see how I can do. Yeah, so let's dive into what my goals basically are to get the car down to under 2,100 pounds, which is a pretty lofty goal. I've kind of looked at like all the top teams and all the top cars that are out there, and like the Opera Performance, the original one, I think that one was like 2160 or something. I've seen some other ones in the 2100 range, but I've never seen anything under 2100, so I figured I'd give it a shot. And to do that, I think not only am I going to have to put on some pretty nice parts, but I figured I would try to get as much weight out of the bare chassis as I could as well. So I want to show everybody what I did. It's not a whole lot, but I have managed to shave quite a bit of weight. So if you can see here, I'll switch the modes here. Cool. So as you can see, I have it on some scales right now. I did this before I did any kind of weight reduction to the chassis. So computer readout. So I weighed the chassis before I ever did anything to it, and it came in at like 603 pounds, and that's including the jack stands, which are like 2 kg a piece. But anyway, so we'll just start at the beginning, and I'll show you what I've done. So I took these, I don't know what you want to call them, front upper shock mount braces or something, and I drilled a bunch of holes with a hole saw and used the dimple die to kind of add strength. And to be honest, the dimple die method, it really wasn't a big weight savings thing that I was going for. It was more to add a little bit of stiffness to the chassis, and I think it just looks really cool too. So I mean, you gotta make it look good as well as drive good. But so I did that. It'll be covered up by fenders, so you won't even see it. But the idea there was to shave a little bit of weight and then add a little bit of stiffness. So that's one of the first things I did. Obviously, I did it on both sides. I plan on not really running a wiper, maybe a single arm wiper if possible. But so I cut this little sheet metal piece out that was right here, just because I'll be able to cover this now. It was actually raised right here, so I'll be able to cover that, which is like a piece of carbon fiber or aluminum when I'm not running a wiper. But I'll get to the A-pillars later. But so I did more just dimple dyeing inside the cabin here, just to save weight. I don't know if that'll add any stiffness there, but I also cut out where the gas tank cover was, because I plan on running a fuel cell, and then I cut out the little tray for the trunk area. That'll give it a little bit more space. So I'll just cap this off with a sheet of carbon fiber, and then yeah, just drilled some holes here. Taking some of the tricks out of the Opera Performance guy car from way back when. Added more dimple dies to this back wall. I may end up removing this whole back wall, but I figured I might use it for a diffuser as well, mount, so I left it on there for now. I did remove all of the sound deadening and like heat stuff that was along the transmission tunnel, and then on the underside as well there was insulation and stuff. So I took all of that stuff out. I do plan on like probably putting heat tape back, something not nearly as heavy as what was in there originally, but there probably will be a little bit of heat tape or something added back, so there will be some weight going back on. But yeah, I'm just showing you kind of what I've done so far. So yeah, no insulation here. There was actually insulation in the back, so if you like that old school tar insulation, it was in the back and in the footwells from the driver and passenger. So I've removed all of that sound insulation and stuff like that. And then one of the biggest ways I saved weight was gutting the A-pillars, which I don't think very many people have done this, but there was one forum on S2000 about the guy that had it done. He didn't actually do it himself, so he didn't explain the process, but he did say the shop said it was quite a pain. But so the idea here is there's factory rollover protection in that A-frame, and if you follow my Instagram at 29 spec, you can see like pictures of it halfway in, halfway out, like as I was doing the process. But the idea is to gut that and then integrate the integrate the roll cage that I planned on putting in the vehicle. So instead of usually people build like a little platform here for your roll cage mounts, your front mounts, but if you gut the A-pillars, you can run them inside, which, trust me, that thing was a huge pain in the ass, and I kind of messed up my A-surface a little bit on the A-pillars, but I got them out. But so you run the tubing in here for your roll cage, and then it sticks in here, so it doesn't take up your footwell area space. So you kind of keep the same space as a normal car. So that's the idea behind that. And plus you don't need double the rollover protection if you're already going to have a pretty robust cage, which I do plan on doing. I welded these in place, that flying V set up there, just because the frame wouldn't have hardly any structural support without it, so I didn't want to one day forget about it and go lean against the windshield frame and bend it or anything. So that's why I put that in there. So that's about all the stuff I did to the chassis. Trying to think if there's anything else. Yeah, it's just the dimple dying, cutting out the pieces, and gutting those A-pillars really. And so, like I said earlier, it was 603 pounds before I started, and I was able to lose 62.6 pounds. So I was hoping to actually get a little bit more out of that, but I don't really see. I could probably get another pound out of this maybe if I kind of went crazy with a smaller drill bit or something, but I don't think there's too many other places to lose weight. The only other thing that I thought of that might lose a couple pounds would be removing the rubber coating from the underneath, but I don't want to do that just because of the fact that I do a lot of off-roading when I drive on the track, so I don't want to have my underside chipped up all the time and constantly have to repaint it, so I'll just keep the factory rubber coating. But yeah, so all in all, with not including the jack stands, the chassis came out to be 523.6 pounds, so a significant amount pulled out of the chassis. Hopefully it's enough to meet my weight goals of the under 2,100 pounds, but there's pretty much no way to tell until I get the whole entire thing built and completed. Yeah, if you guys have any questions of how I did some of the stuff, feel free to comment or ask me. I'm pretty good at responding to the comments, but yeah, it was pretty fun to do. I mean, I've never kind of gone this crazy with a car before, so yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it turns out. So anyway, that's basically what I've been doing to the chassis so far. If you haven't already, follow me along on Instagram. I'm kind of posting all the parts I'm putting on there, all the stuff I'm doing in the story, and all the major stuff. So I'm making videos for the different big parts that I purchased. So I've made a few already with the wheels and the seat. I got some Wise Fab goodies coming this Friday, so I'll be posting stuff about that as well. I'm actually going out of the country this Friday as well, so I'll be gone for about 3 weeks, so won't be too much car progress shortly, but definitely when I get back I'll be jumping back on it. Anyway, thanks for watching, and let me know if you have questions. Hit the comments up. I'll try to explain what I did if you want to know how I did it or whatever. Nothing too extravagant, but yeah, should be pretty good. Thank you.